Hey there, everybody. Welcome to Comic Book Curation. I'm Polly, and joining me, as always, is Inquisitor. Quiz, how are you doing this week?
The Shat struck back. They thought he was a goner.
Just a terrible song to try and get in people's heads, man. And rounding out our triumvirate of awesome, as always, is Jack from Bad Comic Reviews. Link in the description. Jack, how are you doing?
I'm okay. How you doing?
I don't know if you guys heard this. It's a kind of like secret dark rumor, but the Democrats debated today.
I've heard that they've been nuking some people's channels and shit.
Yeah, I heard that. You know, of course, I'm being sarcastic. I couldn't fucking turn around with somebody referencing the Democratic debates. It's like, oh my god. We even started late because Ranning Monkey was doing some version of an Inception stream with Sinatra, and he got hit over it, which is really sucks, honestly. Fucking YouTube.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the sort of thing. I doubt that there was anyone actually behind the flagging. I was shut down. For those not in the know, I actually did get shut down before long time ago. But it was when I was doing the D&D streams. I had gotten a 90-day ban. My channel shut down. I couldn't live stream anymore. So all of the D&D stuff that I did from after that, for 90 days was pre-recorded. So that's the reason why I didn't go up as a stream. And the reason why is because I had gathered a whole bunch of people together and we were watching movies. And I was streaming it over YouTube in a private video. So only, by invitation, people could come in and watch it. But even without it being live or searchable or any of that kind of stuff, I went through three movies, a whole movie, no problems. I played the first 12 minutes of the Showtime Reefer Madness, a movie musical, instant ban.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there you go. And you got hit with the live streaming strike where you couldn't live stream for 90 days. That sucked. The also serves as proof positive. Yes, if you have objectionable material or rated X material or copywritten material or whatever that's strikeable in one way or another, and you've got it private or unlisted on your stream, doesn't matter. You're still strikeable.
Yep.
Even if it's not public, doesn't make a difference.
And if you have unpopular opinions that Google doesn't like, then apparently you get struck too.
Yeah. And before I get too far into it, if you just came in or you've been waiting a while patiently for my router to get itself sorted out and everything else to get going, please feel free to hit that like button and share on Twitter. Where, speaking of Twitter, I also just sent out the thumbnail, and let's take a quick look at that thumbnail. Because, hey, I put work into them, damn it. There it is. What do you think, guys?
Personally... now I don't have that much of a problem with Black Widow, but I would prefer in that same pose Baroness. Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah, I've seen your Rule 34 Baroness collection. You keep your perversions to yourself.
Hey man, I'd go Cobra for that. Just saying.
Just make me switch political alliances and apparently become a terror.
She likes bearded metal gimp masks. I like the thumbnail. I think that she looks better in that shot than she does in any of the movies we've seen so far.
Yeah, I decided on Black Widow here, Natasha Romanoff, for this week because we have some stories about the really pathetically small rumors around the Black Widow film, which I intend to make fun of. The hype train is beginning, and it always begins with the same shill sites and so forth. So the usual suspects are trotting out the little that they do know as if it's like an exclusive. But what's more than that is I also just put up part 2 of my video with Weibo Jones where we count down the hottest women in the MCU. And part 2 is the actual top 10 list, which is available on my channel where you're at right now. So feel free to check it out after the stream. And Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow did quite well on the list because while she's a little oversaturated in media, I think there's no denying that she is pretty hot. Casting couch rumors aside. Rumors. They were just rumors, guys.
Just rumors.
I don't think she's hot. And I'm pretty sure those aren't rumors.
I think she's an attractive woman, and in terms of the egregious elitism of the Hollywood types, she's, I don't know. I haven't heard nearly as much about her as I have about someone like, say, Chris Evans.
She's a 5 that paints up to be a 7. Once
Well,
she gets all her
you know what?
makeup spackled on.
You know what the funny thing is about her is, you got Ryan Walters saying, did she leave her nose alone? No, she didn't. If you watch the video, I provide photographic evidence that she, in fact, did not leave her nose alone. She got a nose job. It's pretty clear. And unnecessarily, much like Natalie Portman, unnecessarily, in my opinion. Ladies, leave your noses alone. They're fine.
They're perfectly fine.
And Cracked is this, Polly's 10 is my 2. I knew I was going to be treading on some sacred ground when talking about which women were hot, especially if you're going to rank order them. My God, how could you even include her on the list and stuff? And you should see some of the sour ass shit I got up in my DMs, man.
Well, it's an inherently subjective thing of what people find attractive. So the fact that you had a list that was different than them should be a big deal, because then you wouldn't be competing for the same person.
I said that at the beginning of the first video and at the end of the second. It's a good thing we have different tastes, or otherwise every man on earth would be chasing after the same one woman, because that's exactly what we want. That's horrible.
That's a lot of competition for Jason Momoa to go through to get to the women that you like.
Jesus, Jason Momoa needs some fucking help. They say, we all sit back and crack jokes at the man's expense. That man can
hold a grudge.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is pathological at this point, and I think therapy and medication are called for. And sure, it's funny, but God damn it, we're laughing at a mentally ill man, for Christ's sake.
I know.
I have to bring up something. Matt Winter said, have y'all heard that Ironheart is on Marvel's docket? I have not, but I'm just sitting back here, just rubbing my hands together, going, good. Because like I've said before, I am waiting for the day where I get to see an America Chavez movie.
What? Okay, so really quick, Crack says department issue, Polly. No. It's Nick Fury throughout the Avengers films carries a Smith & Wesson MP, and Agent Sharon Carter has an FNX 45 tactical. So the idea that just because what's her name, Colby Smulders, who plays Mariah Hill, just because she has a Glock 9, it's automatically department issue and she had no choice. Everyone else seemed to have a choice. She just made a bad one. So anyway,
that gun that you've got there, because I know that you said you wanted to look at.
Oh yeah,
is that it kind of looks like an M16, or at least it's supposed to be. Maybe.
Well, no. My guess is that it's an H&K, a Heckler & Koch Model 91. But I wanted to suggest that because I know we got a bunch of gun nerds out there in chat and people that'll see it in the future. So right now in chat, or if you're listening in the future, and you actually know what kind of rifle that's intended to be, my guess is an H&K 91. But I mean, it's definitely not a 5.56. Look at the size of that fucking magazine. It's
Well, knowing artists today, it's probably a composite of 4 different guns they saw.
That's very true.
You know what? You're not wrong, and that's what I was thinking about. It's like, okay. Oh yeah. By the way, gentlemen, any guess on who penciled this?
No, I have no idea.
That face doesn't give it away. Where it looks a little bit like it might have just had some filters put upon a photograph.
Okay.
Oh, Greg Land.
There you go. Yeah. It was in fact Greg Land.
Yeah. Makes sense. Everything else looks like a painting, and then it's the face. It was like I knew something was uncanny valley about that face.
Yeah, I like that he did put her in front of a bunch of classically Russian buildings.
Yeah, the Kremlin
architecture. It's like, lest we forget, she is in fact Russian.
One thing I got to bring up though, you said Heckler and Hinkler and Koch.
Heckler and Koch.
Is it supposed to be? Is it pronounced Koch? I thought it was Koch.
No, it's Koch. Okay. I mean, I hear you. It's spelled Koch, but that's a German name and it's pronounced Coke, like as in Coca-Cola or the white powder. Yeah. It's like the Koch brothers. They're the George Soros of the right. Every time something's funded that's bad, the Koch brothers funded it. And look how their name is spelled for their company. Koch brothers is Koch.
Koch.
Yeah. That's why everybody should just say H&K.
Yeah.
Or HK.
Smiley says Finfowl. That could be. It looked like, I don't know. The straight magazine is the one reason why I was thinking maybe it could be an M16, or at least it's based on an M16.
Yeah, it very well could be a
M16, and different body parts are from different guns. That's a Frankenstein gun, I'm telling you.
Yeah. I mean, and Smiley's not wrong. Yeah, it absolutely could be an FNFAL. Fabrique Nationale.
Well, the reason why I say that is, bringing that one up in particular is because I know that FNN does straight magazines. So.
Yeah, I mean, they're all working off of, when I say they, I mean the artists are all working off of reference
Pictures.
Photos and shit.
Well,
you know what I
Greg
mean?
Land.
And
he probably cut up 7 different pictures and glued them together and then scanned them into his computer, and there you go.
oh, absolutely. Remember when we were trying to guess at the different parts of the gun when I used shit, I forget the character's name from that Extreme X-Men issue, and we could find like 3 different guns. It was like there's a giant magazine jutting out between her legs because she's squatting down in the picture, and it's like, yeah, but there's no magazine that comes out of that gun. It's actually top mounted.
I told you where that one was stored, and it was in her butt.
In any case, we've gone down the road of nerdery too far. So
either way, it still doesn't change the fact that there is no banana magazine on that gun.
no, it doesn't. So let's take a look at some of the articles that Jack and Quiz were nice enough to submit this week, because they're awesome like that. Satanic Cultist says you got Robot Polly working here.
Little robot.
We did have problems before we started, which is why I restarted my router. Jack was also roboting a little bit. So I don't know, man. I've got my bandwidth turned right the fuck down. Apologies, chat, if I'm coming through a little robot-y. I'm not really sure what else I can do.
Hopefully it'll get better as the stream goes on. Usually, so long as you don't have the actual video pulled up on YouTube, it should get better eventually.
The actual video, what?
Like pulled up on YouTube so that you can like monitor the chat or something like that. If you pop out the chat instead of...
Yeah, I've popped the chat out and closed the
actual video.
Yeah, the actual video.
Yeah, that's the better option.
Ryan Walters pointed out it could be he thinks it's clearly a Pew Pew 42.
Oh. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, I say you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong.
You know what? Did they fuck me on this hashtag? I've noticed that proprietary hashtags, if you will, that have their own emoji attached to them, you can type them into your subtext box and they won't appear. Because I've got the Black Widow tag set in, and it's nowhere to be seen, gentlemen. So I'm going to try retyping it with capital letters this time and see if it appears. But
Black and Widow are both or the B and the W are both capitalized.
Well, I just updated it with capital letters. We'll see if it works. I doubt it will, though. Comicsgate's probably going to disappear, and then Black Widow only comics will be there. I find that funny. Blockable hashtags on YouTube.
Yeah, I would stop using Comicsgate because I think that one is getting classified with the alt-right. So, in Google's weird mentality.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Like it's like hashtag 1488 as far as they're concerned. Fucking nut bars. Right. So in any case, we were going to look at an article. Oh, sure. Rakita Law starts screaming when we're streaming. So jealous of us.
Yeah, he is.
He is. Oh, hang on. I got a Streamlabs here. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Subtitle for Polly's video: 10 people who Jason Momoa is going to fuck. Ironically, that's pretty much what I said the first time he told me his title.
Jack, you don't get to comment. You haven't even watched the video, man.
I watched part of it.
My own streaming partners refuse to watch my videos. What does that say? I watch Jack's videos, but he doesn't watch mine. You see how this
Mine
works?
are 3 minutes long.
You know, this whole Polly abuses Jack. Right. Okay.
Man, we should have called it the stream Polly Strikes Back. God.
Well, yeah, we're going to get into that. The Shat Strikes Back. And for those of you who don't know, that's...
see, what this is he's got more subs than we do, so he's punching down.
We're
being oppressed.
We are.
Lies.
We're being oppressed.
So Vox Media co-founder Tyler to write new Transformers series. You guys excited about this? Like as soon as no, why not?
I'm pissed off about. I've been liking the new Transformers from IDW. That series. I've been recommending it to people, and this pisses me off. Bad enough they already got a bunch of people demonetized. Now they got to go after our comics too.
Yeah, okay.
I was gonna say, is it that Vox? But apparently you answered that for me. All right.
Yeah, it is. It is that Vox co-founder Tyler. But I'm going to skip the first sentence. As we learned last week, this is pointless to read the first sentence because it's the same as the headline. The motherfuckers who, Bazizabda and Ramanabdambabla will team up for Transformers Galaxies. IDW tells. Oh no.
One more time.
IDW, man.
No. I mean, one more time. The names.
Oh, Bezgizbla and Rambadabla will team up for Transformers Galaxies. IDW tells this new series will, quote, delve deeper into the origins, motivation, and world-shattering machinations of the extended Transformers cast. Extended.
Oh,
extended.
What?
Well, I don't know. Like, if you look right here, like they went extended. And so I went extended, and it's like, just read it fast.
Yes, they used to be chicken tenders. And they were not.
That is one hell of a transformation.
Oh, we got ranting monkey in chat. Everybody get on Twitter and complain at YouTube. Hashtag free monkey. God damn it.
Free monkey.
Hey, monkey, throw your Streamlabs in chat. You need the money.
Well, think about it this way, man. I didn't even know you had a gaming streaming channel until this morning, which I went and subscribed to. So yeah, everyone.
Yeah, it's not like he mentions it every single stream or anything.
I didn't.
He doesn't mention it much anymore.
I'm only able to catch Monkey in the morning, like every now and then.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You got one of those jobs.
Day jobs.
Yeah.
It sucks. I wish I didn't.
So let's see. IDW tells their new Transformers series will delve deeper into the origins and blah, blah, blah. The first story arc will focus on the Constructicons and what happened to them after they began to rebuild Cybertron following the war against the threefold spark. It will be titled Constructicons Rising. So, Jack, you're a big Transformers fan. Has this got you excited or what?
I'm not a big Transformers fan. I just like the IDW series. I thought it was fun.
I don't know, man.
This asshole's going to turn it into something political.
Well, I'm concerned about that it's going to be like, the ruthless, imperialist, capitalist Constructicons remaking Cybertron in their own white supremacy image or something.
Yeah. You can see it coming too, because I mean, first of all, it's the guy from Vox, so they are very politically biased. But it'll be like the first issue will be kind of okay, and then by issue 3, it'll be just straight up messaging.
Well, do you know that this Tyler Bleskin guy is actually far left?
Blazinski.
Sure.
I would put money on it. I don't know personally whether he is or not, but I would be willing to bet that he's a far leftist ideologue.
Well, I hear you, and I understand why you might think so, but I mean, let's keep in mind, do you know who the co-founder of Huffington Post is? Andrew Breitbart.
Yeah, and they got rid of him.
Yeah, and then he moved on to other companies and so on. So, you don't necessarily know. Like, maybe Vox Media took a hard left turn.
Well,
so Tyler Blazinski could be a fine writer. You don't know.
I'm too jaded to believe that.
I don't know. Did Tyler Blazinski do any other comics?
I don't know that. Why don't you go ahead and look into that? Well, we move on to this story about drag queens in Marvel Comics. That's right. You heard me right. Marvel Entertainment turns to drag queen Dax into a new Marvel superhero named Typhoonicorn.
Typhoonicorn.
Wow.
I was like, wow, it's past April 1st when I saw that headline.
I didn't even... Jack sent this article. I didn't even read that full title, and I'm kind of in shock at this. Typhoonicorn.
Well, what I've got to worry about here is the fact that, remember, drag queens are not trans, okay? Drag queens are men who dress in women's clothing
As a performative thing, right?
Yeah,
As performance.
yeah, it's performative, right?
Yeah.
But they still are and identify as men. What the fuck is up with those boobs? Those are not padding.
Well, let's read on, see if we can find out. Marvel Entertainment features drag queen Dax in their most recent Make Me a Hero feature that saw the artist Jacob Chabot turn Dax into superhero Typhoonicorn.
It doesn't help when you keep saying it, dude. It really doesn't.
Well, in the video seen above, Dax states, quote, "I always wanted to be more like the superheroine version of an actual woman, not like a representation of actual femininity or actual womanhood, but more like a drawing of a woman, the idea of what that is." Well, hold on, drag queen Dax. You're arguing against the, like, what? Comics should be like fantasy, the idea, the ideal? You realize we agree with Dax on this one, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's like not an actual woman, not a realistic woman. That it kind of throws, like, you know, super athletic, big boobed bodies on women out the window. You see what I'm saying? Anyway.
Well, Eve says that queens wear falsies that look like real tits. I've never seen that, dude. I've only ever seen, like, you know, when queens wear their full getup, they've got something that covers like the upper chest, so you can't tell that they're not real breasts. You know what I mean?
You know, that's the kind of comment I've come to expect from Sinatra. He's like, I usually am here. I'm just lurking. I have to be on the can, so I figure I'd message. Nice. Nice. Well, let me tell you something. If it wasn't for toilet visits that lasted more than 10 minutes, we wouldn't have any viewers at all.
Yeah.
Moving on. Dax goes on to discuss why representation matters in comics. Oh, shit, you lost us. Visibility really matters. Visibility matters in comics. More often than not, people don't literally think that they want to see themselves in a thing. But when they do, it sparks something in them. Dax then provides details about Typhoonicorn. For my character, I wanted to go with a more of a celestial, like on par with the Phoenix Force idea of it. Celestials and the Phoenix Force have nothing to do with each other. Where are you getting this? Did you read the Wikipedia article on something?
Okay, can we all agree that Typhoonicorn sounds like a sci-fi movie? Or Sci-Fi, I guess, is Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, yeah, like low budget, meant to be forgotten in a week.
Typhoonicorn versus Sharknado.
Jesus. I mean, like, definitely flight, controlling the cosmic energy fields, which manifests through her hair, as it would be. But then I mean telepathy, but like low level. I'm not thinking, to me, my X-Men, I'm thinking more like she's an empath. I wouldn't call her a hero or a villain. I wouldn't call her any definitive solid term. She's just energy that inhabits a space.
Oh my God.
What?
Yeah, that was just babble, man. As far as the design of the superhero, Dax added, I would definitely want her to appear much like me as possible, but also definitely like something that appears like an African American or a person of color in general would be ideal. Okay. Tall, definitely glamorous, something like a starburst pattern, something that really encompasses the Typhoonicorn. This is just...
It doesn't help repeating it, dude. It really doesn't. The name was cringy the first time I heard it.
Stop telling me off, man. It says it here. Shit.
I know. I'm not telling you off. I'm telling the fucking author off.
Let's skip ahead to, well, I mean, Dax, the whatever, crossdressers, I want to keep saying it. Dax then goes on to into details about Typhoonicorn's duties. I definitely see the Typhoonicorn as someone who would patrol space, and whenever they came across an issue, would address it. That's specific. Definitely someone who's like down for fairness and against injustice of any kind towards any person or being, but the whole time with amazing shoes.
Oh, God.
Holy fuck. Guys, this is okay. It's like Make Me a Hero by Marvel. This is why Marvel's YouTube channel is hot, salty trash. Like, it's just awful. They do cooking shows. They do Make Me a Hero and invite on transvestites, cross-dressers, drag queens, whatever the fuck, to talk babble about a character while somebody draws them because it's all about this strange nebulous inclusion idea. Like their channel makes no sense. This Sana Amanat, senior executive at Marvel, with her Marvel as a lifestyle brand.
Good,
this is it.
Right. You got it right. There.
I said it slow and thought about it before I did.
Okay.
It's a lifestyle brand like freeganism.
Well,
dumpster dive for newly expired food.
Do you guys remember the one thing that Cynical Lindsay, shout out to her in the chat, sent us on Twitter about Marvel?
Oh, yeah, I actually do.
Yeah.
And, thank you, Lindsay, for sending that.
Oh my God, that is just like pure concentrated cringe.
Hold on. Was this about the one-act plays?
Yeah, the one-act plays, the high school plays.
Here we are. Let's jump over to that article. I'm done with Typhoonicorn.
Oh my God.
I'm never done with Typhoonicorn, buddy. It's going to lead the X-Men next year.
Oh,
yeah, thank you to Cynical Lindsay for tweeting this out at us. Marvel announces one-act plays intended for high school productions. Oh, goody. And it's on CBR. Top garbage tier. So
oh my God, they're just gonna say how much of a great idea this is, especially given that Miss Marvel Kamala Khan is one of them.
Oh yeah.
Don't ruin it. Don't ruin the surprise.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see what's going on. Marvel Entertainment has officially launched Marvel Spotlight, a collection of one-act stage plays that star different Marvel superheroes that are designed for the teenage demographic. The first round of scripts are for plays starring Thor and Loki, Squirrel Girl, and Miss Marvel, respectively. Written by two-time Tony Award-winning Christian Borle, Hammered, a Thor and Loki play, revolves around teenage versions of the god of thunder and mischief competing for the favor of their parents through Asgardian rites of passage. I don't know. That doesn't sound very inclusive. Penned by Karen Zacharias, founder of the Young Playwrights Theater, Squirrel Girl Goes to College, a Squirrel Girl play, follows Dorian Green as she attempts to balance her studies at Empire State University with her superheroing. Finally, written by award-winning composer and playwright Masi Asari, Mirror of Most Value, a Miss Marvel play, stars Kamala Khan on a journey of self-acceptance as she struggles with letting her desire for superhero fame take priority over her school life and personal relationships. All three plays are currently available for retail purchase and licensing within the educational theater through blah, 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 blah.
Oh my God. Is this, first of all, what school group is going to seriously consider this? Especially when every other play that, every school usually goes for is public domain.
Yeah, just like a Loki and Thor play, hammered up the ass. Like this is the lifestyle brand that Sana Amanat plans. Like everyone needs a voice, inclusivity. We need to spread out into other media, that we are not just a comic book company. Yeah, of course, leaving the comic books behind and their sales plummet dramatically and disastrously. They don't care. They're doing stuff like stupid cartoons that nobody watches, one-act plays that are full of fuckery, getting everybody involved. Again, this is her notion of the Marvel as lifestyle brand. It's like whatever the fuck that means, trying to reach every medium and genre possible through inclusivity.
Yeah.
Could just take a moment to drink in the cover of that too, because that looks really
awful.
Terrible.
That looks like Joe Quinones's art.
Oh, that's almost worse.
Do they give credit to the cover?
That's actually a good question.
To that image?
Is Thor struggle?
Yeah, Frosted Glass. The first draft of their play was just cats.
Like the fact that they have every cover, like
look how fat she looks.
Squirrel Girl Goes to College, and then Kamala Khan with her supersized fists, and idealized Muslim American and all of the horrible things that she goes through.
She's not wearing her hijab.
It's
fine. It's fine. She's just a kafar motherfucker. It's fine.
No, it's just she's at school, so she can get away with it before her father ruthlessly beats her for not wearing it.
She should be going to school. She's a girl.
Yeah, right.
Well, in any case, this is CBR at full steam ahead that they've got high-res copies of each of the covers, and it's like super positive. And the reading of it, I'm fairly certain if I went to the Marvel Spotlight or Marvel.com and read their Spotlight, that this would simply read as their press release, barely reworded. This is
Probably.
it's how promotion works, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why assholes are like us are here to monetize
it. Lindsay was saying that we should probably read the synopses if we wanted maximum cringe from that one.
Do we really have to?
It's the Miss Marvel one about her going to college and then her brother throws acid in her face because she's a woman and she doesn't deserve an education.
Yeah.
All right, let's check out the synopsis. That's a word.
Yes.
The Kamala Khan one reads as follows. Kamala attempts to boost Miss Marvel's fledgling superhero profile by writing her own fan fiction. But when building a fandom becomes an obsession, Kamala's schoolwork and relationships begin to suffer. To become a New Jersey superhero of her dreams, Kamala must learn to accept herself just as she is, imperfections and all. Lovely. Okay. Squirrel Girl goes to college. The synopsis reads, Dorian arrives at Empire State University to make new friends and protect them from supervillains. Not to go to school?
Yeah, no. It's just to make friends and protect them from supervillains.
Well, let's face it. Her handler already went to school for 4 years.
By keeping her superhero identity a secret. But when a beloved computer science professor suddenly disappears, can Dorian trust her friends with her inner squirrel so she can save the day? Check this. Oh, fuck.
Because, you don't go to school to learn anything. No.
And by the way, she's a woman and she's really into the science. Surprise.
She loves the science, all right?
Yes.
It's perfectly fine.
Thor and Loki hammered up the ass. The synopsis reads as follows. As Thor struggles with the stress of final exams, his brother Loki finds himself under a different sort of pressure. Neither are beneath the pranks and the endless competition for their parents' favor, but underneath all the thunder and mischief, these two princes of Asgard discover a bond that will last millennia.
Oh, God.
Cringe. I mean, this is like, okay, I get it. It's written for a young audience. They actually said so, but didn't they say high school? This reads like, high school productions. That reads like intro middle school level.
Yeah.
I must protect my friends and everything's lovely and I'm going to discover myself. That's not what fucking 17, 18-year-old wants to be acting that shit out on stage.
Special needs one.
Well, yeah, what kind of high school is this for? I mean, people in drama productions in high school want to be doing the bloody massacres in Macbeth and shit.
Yeah.
Like that's what I remember anyway. Okay. Yeah, Marvel is lifestyle brand, guys. Get used to it.
Yeah.
So Vertigo, let's just call it what it is. The social justice imprint that Marvel created recently. Recreated. DC, excuse me.
And it wasn't the social justice. It was this time around they made it the social justice imprint.
That's why I said recreated. You're absolutely right. Vertigo had a long history of doing interesting stuff, and their version of doing interesting offbeat stuff this time around was all social justice-y as fuck. And it completely failed brutally. And had Zoe Quinn.
Yeah, right. I wonder why it failed. The thing about it is that I think that Vertigo, and this time around them trying this with Vertigo, I'd like to think the higher ups at DC said these people are demanding that we let them write their comics. So we'll let them write their comics with a low risk to us establishment. We'll let all of the people that are, trying to be, quote, on the right side of history do the free advertising, all the shill websites, the CBRs, the Bleeding Cools, let them all just go absolute ape shit with advertising for us. We won't have to spend a dime. And then if these social justice comics fail, which they inevitably will, we can just sit there and say, nah, guess people don't like social justice comics.
Well,
I would like to think that that's what's going through DC's mind.
BG asked, did Paulie just admit that he was a drama geek? No, dated a bunch of drama geek girls. I don't know why, but there's lots of hot girls in drama. I think it's because they want to go on to be actresses or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
In any case, this Vertigo editor, Karen Berger, reacts to DC retiring the imprint. They're not shuttering it or shutting it down because it was a complete fucking failure. They're retiring a grand old lady, you see. But thanks, CBR. Way to spin that one well. But you get Karen Berger here. Does anyone notice anything about this photograph, Jack?
All the books are really old.
Yeah, they're not the current Vertigo stuff.
No.
They're the older, successful Vertigo comics. Neil Gaiman, The Sandman, Day Tripper, V for Vendetta. Yeah, why don't you put up the comics behind you that actually caused the death of a once great imprint?
Well, she got those under that umbrella because, like, Transmetropolitan and Sandman were under the Helix imprint, and she moved them over to Vertigo. She's the one that started the Vertigo imprint. She's not the one that ruined it.
Well, let's. I actually haven't read her reaction. Maybe it's like she just talks about glory days gone past or something. Let's find out. DC Comics announced earlier this week that it was shuttering its acclaimed Vertigo print to consolidate its titles under a single recognizable brand, not because they were total failures at all. In response to the news, longtime Vertigo executive editor Karen Berger, who takes no responsibility for any of the garbage that just happened, shared her reaction, decrying the combination of corporate thinking and creative risk-taking while thanking her collaborators in launching the groundbreaking imprint. Oh, wow. After her success in serving as editor of Alan Moore's run on Swamp Thing and Neil Gaiman's The Sandman, Berger launched Vertigo in '93, grandfathering in the two titles, as Jack just said, as well as other mature titles originally published by DC, while ushering in new groundbreaking series from acclaimed comic book creators. Berger announced in 2012 that she would be stepping down as Vertigo executive editor. Wow. Yeah, get the fuck away from that one as far as you can, honey. Transitioning duties to a new editorial team before leaving DC in March of 2013. Holy shit, this whole article is made up of one tweet, guys. Holy fuck. Her thoughts on it are as follows from a tweet. Corporate thinking and creative risk-taking don't mix. DC nixing Vertigo was a long time coming, but hey, we changed the game and we had a blast doing it. Honored to have worked with so many incredibly talented creators, and thanks to all of our fab readers. Jesus.
Well, she made a lot of careers.
Are you surprised that tweets are now newsworthy?
I mean, we've complained about it before, so I'm not saying anything original here. It's just, garbage tier, right? We're going to write an entire article out of a single tweet that she shares her feelings. Reading that, I was duped, as most people would be, reacts to you got an interview with her, right? You talked to her on the phone, at least for a minute, or you're reprinting elements from an interview she had somewhere else, that kind of thing. No, I didn't leave my desk. My editor told me I needed to write something, so I went on Twitter to see what was happening.
Well, you should know better by now, Polly. No, the
wrong.
Point of this one is that she created this imprint with some top-tier talent.
Mm-hmm.
And she brought in some other books that were already out and about, like Watchmen and V for Vendetta, and brought them into the umbrella category as well of Vertigo. And then these people come in years later, 20-some years later, and just shit all over it. Yeah. And they drove it in the ground in, less than a year?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, it was. Like, you saw the writing on the wall 6 months in. People were like, people that weren't comic skaters and really critical of the industry were starting to talk about, I don't think this is going to last, something like 8 months in, when new stuff was still being introduced. And then at a year, yeah, that was it, man. They had already canceled how many titles?
They canceled them all.
Well, they canceled all of them, but
it didn't last a year.
No, yeah, but I mean, yeah, like whatchamacallit got canceled before the end. Bordertown Border Town was canceled before the end, right?
Borderlands video game. Yeah, my bad.
Trying to remember the other one. Zoe Quinn's book, Goddess Mode, actually made it to the quote end, like meaning when everything was canceled, hers was canceled along with it, but it only made it to what, issue 4?
I think it was
six. Yeah.
All of the stuff for American Carnage, the full story was released, but that was over half complete when it was launched.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they trimmed that one down too. That was probably supposed to be a 12-issue series.
Ex Bubba Hotep says, Polly, they are journalists, not investigators or interviewers. I mean, I don't even really think that. I've been talking about this a lot recently because I've been reading it. Bret Easton Ellis's White, probably talking about it too much, but I really dig his writing in it. And this is his first nonfiction book. And so it's making a big impact on me as his writing does. He moves in those circles, writers, he was talking about the history of making American Psycho into a musical, which it was, and all the stuff that was involved. So he hangs out with actors and so on, right? And that group of people, what a weird, like Holly weird, perfect word for it. Strange group of self-obsessed people in a very odd bubble. And he's kind of like writing from an insider's perspective. And when you get into the way things are started and the means by which things are started and how they come to an end and how saying the wrong thing will cause your series to be canceled, even though thousands and thousands of dollars had already been paid out to you. Doesn't matter. They'll still cancel it. That's corporate Hollywood. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
It just wild. It's like I sent out a tweet suggesting Trump wasn't all that bad, and I had a contract canceled. But guys, they had already paid me $175,000 in fees for script writing for a show that would never be made. Think about that. That's fucking wild. Like,
it's a waste of money.
Well, that's nuts. $175,000. And when he's talking about, one of the things that made a biggest impression upon me was how little, meaning nothing, people who do online journalism get paid. To do a profile in a magazine of Val Kilmer when he was doing the Batman movie in the 90s, he got paid $20,000 for that. That was go hang out with Val Kilmer for 2 days, fly there on our bill, hotel room on our bill, eat on our bill, plus $20,000, and write up, what was it, 2,500 words, and then hand it off to our editors who will take it from there. That's unheard of now. And he's going into the scripture. Everybody who writes online, trust me, they're not getting paid, or they're getting like a $50 per day per diem to eat. That explains a lot of what's going on with garbage tier sites to me. That makes stuff a lot more clear. We're calling them lazy, and Ex Bubba Hotep says, well, they're not interviewers or whatever. They're not getting paid anything. Why would they do anything other than step away? Why would they step away from their laptop? I've always imagined them in an office, as if they gave them a cubicle. They're doing it from home.
Now, Polly, if they go to a place to work, they can't feed their cats. And there's a lot of cats at their houses.
Yeah, well, American Carnage, like the movie. American Carnage is a story about a very light-skinned black man who can pass for white, who goes undercover with a bunch of white nationalists, etc. It's a woke as fuck story about how much racism there is in America and how brutal and murderous it can get. And the name American Carnage, the title rather, is a riff off of Donald Trump's inauguration speech when he was talking about the murders that go on in Chicago, which he described as an American carnage. And everybody took that as being so fucking negative. And it's like, I don't know, dozens and dozens of murders every week. That doesn't strike you as an American carnage? It does me. I think it's pretty accurate, but whatever. He must be racist. Yeah.
It's all on the South Side, man. It's
frosted glasses. So you think they hand it to editors? That's cute. Well, I mean, back in the day, there were editors that took editorial responsibility very seriously. I think this lady, Karen Berger, back in the day, that when Jack was talking about it, that there's a lot of editorial involvement in what Jack was describing. You know what I mean? Like a vision, so forth. I don't see that the same kind of editorial control and ongoing editorial involvement. It's sort of like run, go, do it, we'll print it, you know.
I say I keep on calling them bloggers, and that's for a damn good reason, because these aren't articles.
You know what? That's damn good, actually. You know, CBR is a blog, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a single one of these people actually do any sort of actual journalism. They build an entire article, I say article in massive sarcasm quotes, out of a tweet. With like half of it is a tweet, and then the other half is either speculation or history based around the person who's putting out the tweet. That's literally every article.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets a little nuts. I mean, why don't we move into the like along the lines of what you were just saying? The subject of our well, at least of our thumbnail, Black Widow. The Black Widow film. I mean, we don't have to leave CBR for this, and it'll show you like the kind of the hype train is beginning for the Black Widow film, right? Maybe some stuff is happening, maybe not. Black Widow set photos reveal mysterious costumed character. Oh, do we have like production photos? Absolutely not. These are creepy paparazzi photos from a distance that tell you nothing. Black Widow's long-anticipated solo film may be currently shooting, but there is very little we know about the movie's actual plot.
Wait, anticipated by whom?
Well, I'm looking forward to it, for one. I got these hopes, and the hopes are largely the product of my imagination. I'm not going to deny that. I keep having visions of a cool early 80s Cold War drama, but it's not going to be that at all. I just made all that shit up in my own mind.
It's going to be 2 hours of her laying at the bottom of a pit, slowly going in and out of rigor.
It's a post-snuff film, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe a rat goes up and gnaws on her for a few minutes as a post-credit scene.
For those who haven't seen Endgame, that was a huge spoiler. Anyway, but there's very little we know about the movie's actual plot, which won't stop us from writing a series of articles. We've seen star Scarlett Johansson on the set, the tease of a possible second Black Widow, and we've gotten a glimpse at what appears to be the movie's official logo. And that's pretty much it. Do you know how they got the movie's official logo? You guys want to see?
Yeah.
This is great. This is actually really funny. Okay, Widow's official logo may have surfaced online. May, right?
More speculation.
It's the zoom in of the back of a director's chair.
Oh, for fuck's sake! So grainy too.
Exactly. It doesn't. We're operating at a real low level here, gentlemen. Okay.
Wow.
So back to the article. I love that they bothered to hyperlink it in the text. You know, it's like, oh my god, you wanted people to be reminded you wrote an article about that zoom in on the back of someone's fucking chair. Okay. Now, however, we have something even more intriguing than previous leaks from the set. New photos reveal a mysterious character wearing not only a mask, but full body armor. The character can be seen in broad daylight in the middle of the streets, standing inside of what appears to be some sort of armored vehicle.
Tell me it's Stiltman.
Supposedly it's Taskmaster, and it's like, look, it's a distant, weird, creepy, voyeur, blurry picture that some creeper took from a distance.
Okay, I see no skull mask or hood.
Yeah.
There we go. Taskmaster.
No. I see no skull mask or hood.
It's the
present yourself, Polly, because when Quiz talks, it moves away from you, and I can't see what's going on.
Sorry.
Oh,
I am presenting myself.
Oh God! Please, there are children present.
What?
No, I don't know. That's not Taskmaster.
No, it looks in this picture. It looks like fucking Rom.
Yeah, that could be Darkhawk for all we know.
It's a Cylon.
Yeah.
That's what Faithless says. Assassin of the Gray. He's just standing there, menacingly.
Menacingly.
Yeah, that could be, like Frosted said, a putty from Power Rangers. That could be fucking anything.
And this is what I'm saying. It's like, we've already seen this, so now we've got new blah blah blah. The caption accompanying the photo asks as if the character could be Taskmaster. You just took somebody's fucking tweet. You constructed an entire article around someone's voyeur photo from their phone, man.
And say, for those that are not in the know, this is what Taskmaster looks like in the comics. Like I said before, he doesn't have the skull mask or the hood.
Or a shield, or a sword.
Or shield or sword. Yeah.
Or shiny armor, and doesn't resemble ROM or a Cylon remotely.
Nope.
You know what? I really bet that is one of the Stark Tech uniforms they had for those guards. What were they called? The super cops.
Americops.
No, the ones that were green. The Americops were different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking about
they
something
guard
totally different. Sorry.
the raft.
Well, this story ends with Black Widow is expected to be an origin story for Johansson's Natasha Romanoff, but considering the set pictures offer no overt evidence that it is a period film, there's a bit of mystery as to when exactly the story takes place. Yeah, nobody knows nothing is the short version of the story, and that has been considering it says is expected by who? What are you talking about? This is how I've constructed in my imagination. I think we're all on this mass hope thing that it'll be like, because you got Wonder Woman 1984 coming out, right? A lot of 80s period stuff's become real popular. You had the X-Men do it. You had the weirdo, creepy quasi horror with all the young kids on Netflix. What was it called?
Stranger Things?
Stranger Things, based in the 80s.
I was going to say that Michael Jackson documentary, but I knew that wasn't right.
Leaving Neverland?
No. So yeah, that was, I got this idea that it's like, oh man, it's going to be a period 80s thing with Natasha Romanoff, like moving over to S.H.I.E.L.D., leaving, commie Russian special forces or whatever the fuck she was doing. Yeah, but no, nothing like that. Sadly, it's just, we do have pictures from Scarlett Johansson on set. Here, check this out. This is another CBR hot take, guys. Get ready.
I'm ready. My body is ready.
Black Widow set photos and videos tease Scarlett Johansson's MCU return.
From the dead?
I doubt it.
Well, enough of the fucking Endgame spoilers, man. Damn.
Oh.
Although we saw Black Widow sacrifice her life, in order to obtain
spoiler alert, God.
In order to obtain the Soul Stone in Avengers Endgame, it won't be the last time she appears in the MCU. In fact, new photos and a video have emerged from the set of the upcoming Black Widow solo film. The photos show Scarlett Johansson with her signature Natasha Romanoff red hair walking along the streets of Norway. In the posted video, you can see her entering a store of some kind and coming out with a full plastic bag. Guys, I think the bitch was just shopping. You want to see the pictures? What?
Seriously? Look, there's an ad for the Joker.
Awesome.
Clearly, it's a crossover.
Yes.
Scarlett Johansson shooting the Black Widow movie. We love winning. What? I just
from at Widow Warrior.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And see, there she is leaving. Like, maybe she just wants get something to eat, guys. Like, I mean, seriously, maybe she actually is just leaving with groceries.
Yeah, I think she's getting a sandwich or something. It's probably a lunch break. What are you doing?
She should probably not, because of those thighs. Ugh.
You leave her awesomely thick thighs alone, buddy.
No, my favorite bit is stuff like this, man. Right here on the Twatter. You got at Gosh Romanoff. Scarlett has the cutest smile. Look at her. Hashtag Black Widow. Oh my God, yes, Queen Slay. Is this seriously all the sort of shit that you can pull up about this movie? What the fuck are you doing? God.
Well,
and people wonder why I've jumped ship on the Marvel MCU shit.
Well, seriously. This is more the hype train than anything. Like the desperation of garbage tier sites to print something or publish online something, anything. Do you want to see how far it's willing to go? How about shipping crates?
Wow.
Or furniture, like wooden filing cabinets of some kind or whatever those are. But yeah,
so set photos include the UPS delivery system. Nice work, guys. Nice work. You nailed it.
This is great. Best of widows. This is like .com best of widows. So yeah, there's a close-up of those wooden boxes, guys. And then they weren't able to get close enough to get an actual picture. They're taking it off of a reflective surface so they don't get caught. It's like, and then here's some super small picture from a distance of that doesn't even look like Scarlet. That looks like her stunt double.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's Scarlet's stunt double. Wow.
But we flash back to the first CBR article we read where we saw hints of a second Black Widow, and it's like, you morons. I think that's just her fucking stunt double.
Her stunt double's blonde too, apparently.
Okay, we've made fun of CBR and their low-end barrel scraping enough, I think.
The character I was thinking of is Guardsman.
Guardsman. Okay.
It's like a meta-human police.
Okay.
I tweeted Polly a picture because I can't screen share again.
Oh no.
But yeah, they have Stark Tech armor that's kind of stripped down, but it's similar to the Iron Man armor, and it's used whenever they have to do a roundup of metahumans or superhumans.
I just popped over to Twitter, and that reminds me.
Frosted Glass, stay tuned for our interview with the shipping crates.
It's an exclusive.
I'm not interested in the shipping crates. How about the dollies moving them? There's the real core of the story, guys.
No one interviews the grip. Come on.
Okay, anyway, it reminds me, if you're just coming in now or you haven't already, please like the stream. It most certainly helps. And popping over to Twitter, that reminds me, if you're so generous, feel free to retweet the tweet we sent out so others know that we're streaming over here. Would greatly appreciate it.
Do you think that was the actual stunt double, or is it the other Black Widow character? For a while, Romanoff was replaced in the comics with this girl's name escapes me at the moment.
Yeah, she was. And I mean, maybe... I don't know. And it's like they're filming in Norway because they're about Russian operations in Norway, or they've got great tax breaks for filming there. Who the fuck knows? They don't know fuck all. They're taking pictures of wood boxes and saying set photos. Blah! Who knows?
Maybe they're going to address the rise in sexual assaults by Muslims. Oh, wait, probably not.
No. This is supposedly an origin story, which I mean, it was set in the early 80s, and that was a little bit before the, what do you want to call it?
80s? How old is she?
Cultural enrichment that's been going on in Norway. Well, you know the way things work in comic universes, right? Characters age slowly, though time moves as normal.
But I mean, like... Did they already do that movie? It was called Hannah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, a lot of people, will look over at Lucy and say this is like a repurposed Black Widow script. Yeah.
Oh, Ryan makes a good point that stunt double could be Mockingbird.
Oh, yeah. Lucy shouldn't be a repurposed anything. Lucy was awful. Luc Besson is a hack and should not be making movies.
Every time I've never seen Lucy. Somebody said if you like Scarlett Johansson, it's fine for eye candy for her. But someone will mention Luc Besson did it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Fuck, it must be insane.
It's terrible. I hate the fact that people are still perpetuating this whole thing. That trope is something that needs to die. The whole we don't use 100% of our brain thing.
Yeah.
I'm using 100% of my brain right now, and all 100% is telling me that movie is fucking retarded.
No, those are people that don't use 100% of their brain.
Yeah, I mean,
demonetized.
You're not wrong, Quiz. I agree with you 100%, man. That whole we don't use 100% of our brain, therefore we can unleash. I mean, how many films can I think of that even recently, like past 10 years, have I heard that in? Like B films and then like Hollywood blockbusters like Inception.
Lucy.
Inception relies on it. Limitless relies on it. The list goes on and on and on. Like, fuck off. It's bullshit. Anyway. But speaking of commies, let's go over to this story, shall we?
It's coming, people. I teased it.
Socialist tabletop game reminded me that you have to stop infighting to get shit done.
By Gita Jackson.
Yeah. Now, this is over from Kotaku of Gamergate fame. That's right. I brought up Gamergate. So what?
Instantly demonetized.
Mm-hmm.
Banned off of YouTube.
If you say it 3 times, then you Sarkeesian will appear in chat.
Look at this picture. The worker. You've got a job, damn it. And there he is with his hammer. But where's the sickle, bro?
Yeah, I was saying the sickle should be in the other hand.
It got redistributed.
I was talking to Quiz about this before we went live, man. I am turning more and more into like a Cold Warrior anti-communist the longer things last. Like a monkey in the morning yesterday. I do not like communism. I do not like Marxism. But it goes well beyond that. And sorry, Jack, what was it?
I don't like hundreds of thousands of dead people.
Yeah, go figure, right? Like
Sprinkles dead people now?
The most monstrous force in terms of an ideology to visit the world ever? Why would I have a problem with that? Something that directly undermines human nature? Why would I be opposed to such a thing? Anyway, let's see what the commie pinko fucks over at Kotaku have to say about board games, or tabletop games, rather.
Yeah.
On Wednesday night, a group of friends and I gathered, I call them comrades, to spark a revolution. We were playing Comrades. Oh my God.
Is that the name of the game, Comrades?
Yes, it is. God. It's called Comrades.
I haven't read this article. I was trying to crack a joke, god damn it. You're laughing and I'm getting dyspepsia over here.
Okay. I already have heartburn.
Oh God, don't worry, Polly. It gets worse. I'm glad you haven't read this.
No, I'm experiencing this as I read live. Okay. So on Wednesday night, I'm going to avoid adding stuff in as I do for jokes because I've got a feeling.
There's not a lot to joke about.
Yeah, this article will be sufficient on its own. On Wednesday night, a group of friends and I gathered to spark a revolution. We were playing Comrades, a tabletop RPG that puts the players in the shoes of leftist activists fighting for their causes. I make no secret that I'm a socialist. That's right. I'm the political dissident the president is warning you about. Sometimes my dangerous friends and I gather to play tabletop games. Oh, you mean a consumer good?
Oh, dude, my favorite bit about this is that the person that created Comrades can't get anyone to actually publish it. They have to sell it on DriveThruRPG as a PDF. But they're still selling it. That's the core part that you're.
And you bought it with money. You worked at a job, selling your labor.
Hang on. Frosted Glass said, "You encounter a level 20 famine. Roll for breadline."
Nice.
Share that one.
Nice. Writer William Ackers sent me an advanced copy of his new game Comrades. He distributed it.
Yeah.
Which will launch its Kickstarter campaign to amass evil imperialist funds next Wednesday.
Now I'm kind of curious. I'm going to look up their Kickstarter.
Yeah, actually, for sure, do that.
I knew $15 for this.
I knew that I had to try it. The game is based on the Apocalypse World engine, meaning that there's a lot more role-playing than dice rolling. Together, we created our world and the right-wing regime we would be rallying against.
They raised $24,000 for it.
In evil imperialist capitalist funds.
Oh, yeah, of a $500 goal.
Well, I found my new rant source. Motherfuck. I hope they distributed the cost. Ryan Walter says, yeah, they did. But everybody used their money they used by either investment or selling their labor to purchase in advance a consumer product that was not publicly owned. Do you guys understand the levels of irony and hypocrisy you're involved in?
I don't think they do.
Okay, where was I? In our fictional town of Monarch, Nevada, a right-wing family has taken over the government and was threatened to put into legislation that which would devastate the local ecological system. Our first mission was a protest at a monarch butterfly reserve that suddenly turned to violence.
You don't say.
Our little team of leftists was tasked with de-escalating the crowd and extracting the activist term media darling who had been injured.
Got to get AOC out of there. I mean, where else is she going to put out her next new green New Deal or new
Green New Deal?
Yeah, Green
New Deal. Yeah.
Look at these pictures from it. Like, okay, this is their idealized worker. You've got a job, damn it. Look at what a stern, honest man he is, being exploited for his labor, right? Look at the professional. Revolution is not for amateurs, it says. Look, he's smoking his cigarette with a gun over his back, and he's got the mustache, like the essence of the Cuban idealized revolutionary. Long live Che.
Hang on. Johnny Hellcat, thank you for the donation. Are we gonna ignore Quiz's spot on Rip Taylor impersonation? Apparently we were gonna let it slide, but now that you pointed out, yeah, that was pretty dead on.
No, I try.
Oh, this is priceless, gentlemen. Get this. They're playing a game about a bunch of wannabe communists. Look at the first sentence in this. Here's what we actually spent most of our time on: arguing.
Yeah. Sounds like a bunch of socialists sitting around doing nothing but complaining.
Yeah, and theorizing and expounding upon their own higher morality. Believe me, I hang out on a campus. This is exactly what it's like.
Okay, Frosted Glass made a good point, and I think we should do this on Quiz's channel.
What?
We should all get a copy of this game and live stream us playing it.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Well,
that would be fun.
Let me see if I can get my hands on a copy of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if we'll talk about that after the stream. Yeah.
It's $25. I might have to buy this.
Well, we'll talk about that after the stream. We'll figure out a thing or two. Anyway,
we gotta get it autographed.
Each of the character types come from different backgrounds, and they end up having different personal goals. Our wealthy patron, Nadir, was like as in a Nadir, height, get it? He's the wealthy patron. Yeah. Was really in it to get back at his family. The mystic, Father Oppenheimer, believed in the cause, but also wanted to expand the influence of his cult. Natasha, the professional who could jury-rig a weapon out of anything lying around, was loosely based on real-life activist Brace Belden, also known as Twitter user Piss Pig Granddad.
What?
Who volunteered to join a Kurdish militia in Syria. Wow, you guys really are neat LARPers, aren't you? Oh. This is unbelievable. Natasha's main concern was staying out of the spotlight. Our leader was Stan, a trade union leader turned blogger who made a zine called The New Leaf that leftists in Monarch had rallied around. I'm hurting, man. This is cringing. The patron is a POC.
It gets worse. Just wait.
Okay. Although all these people were united under the same cause and also wanted the same end result, getting from point A to B was a struggle, as the GM and I kept having to remind them that there was more to this fight than their own personal needs. I started introducing more immediate dangers, cops with batons, tear gas, to keep them moving and thinking on their feet.
Wait, is there a rule that you can overthrow the GM and elect a new master halfway through the game?
Right.
Somebody just declares revolution and then their GM and the game can totally change.
It only works if the players are able to put that GM in a guillotine. Just saying.
We had some disastrous and hilarious failures. Sounds like Marxism to me. When Natasha tried to use her MacGyver skills to make a smoke bomb, she rolled a 4 and she ended up covered in soot and attracting attention to herself. Oh, like when the Weather Underground blew up their brownstone apartment and killed a couple of people and then brought the cops down on them. Yeah, very realistic. When Stan tried to get the word out that we were being attacked by the police, he also rolled a 4. And so social media turned on him instead, telling him, quote, "Nah, man, you're getting roasted on Twitter right now."
I'm not gonna lie, that would be really fun to GM. Like someone sitting there's like rolled really badly on there, like, I'm gonna roll for social media. Oh no, it looks like you're getting a whole bunch of response videos and everyone's turning against you. You're getting ratioed as fuck right now.
Who gets to play Moldy Locks?
Oh, right. Like, I mean, the old saying, the revolution will not be televised, which then got twisted by, jokers and writers as the revolution will be televised. I mean, so in the modern era, this is what came to mind. It would be the revolution very much will be tweeted, won't it?
Yes.
I mean, that's the sad, pathetic thing about neat LARP
live tweets
with duck lips.
Instagram too. There's no question they'll want to look as fashionable as possible. Well, taking down the imperialist pigs. Well, bashing the fash, rather.
Yeah.
I mean, after all, they have their own hashtags and logos. Jesus Christ, the revolution has an aesthetic. Okay, this is not all that different from how activism goes down in real life. Leftists tend to pride themselves on being able to hold their own side accountable, but that tends to lead to a lot of infighting. Around the table, people started jokingly calling each other wreckers for being detriments to the cause. Still, by the end of the game, our players came together because they realized they had to end their sentence in a preposition. Got it. No matter how much some of the characters personally disliked each other, and some of them did not like each other very much at all, we all knew we were here to fight for a better world. Personal disagreements could be hashed out later on Twitter with hashtags. Right now, we needed to escape the cops and live to fight another day. Comrade system really emphasizes the communal nature of leftist activism. Oh, God, that's pukey. At the end of the sessions, players vote on which of them had best embodied the revolutionary spirit, and that character then rolls to see whether or not the revolution as a whole advances because of the group's actions. For us, we decided the moment Natasha kept the front line together, linking their arms against the cops charging at them, was the truest spirit of our cause. No matter the foibles that followed, the image of strength and unity in the face of adversity was the one we wanted to remember. Guys, I'm reading this through a face palm. I'm not kidding. I've got my fingers split so I can read it while face palming, holding my own head. Okay. We are socialists because we believe in a better world. I don't agree with every single socialist that has ever lived. I can't read this in my normal voice. I got to do the neat LARPer voice. We're socialists because we believe in a better world. I don't agree with every single socialist that's ever lived. And just like the activists in her game, I sometimes find I really hate people who are technically on my side. Ultimately, though, what matters most to me is creating a more just society that serves the most destitute among us. Playing Comrades was a good reminder of what really matters. Keep an eye on Acker's newsletter to keep up on updates about our Commie Pinko game. If you too dream of a Commie Pinko heaven where there are no billionaires that we tend to take all of our money from so we can hopefully fund this fucking bullshit of ours, then playing this game can help keep your eyes on the prize.
What, starvation? You're spotting the bread line.
I wonder about this too, because I'm looking at their Kickstarter, right? I said that they earned $24,000. I want to see individual donations. Is there a way to see that?
I don't think so.
Huh.
Because I'm wondering, because they do have they offer tiers for pledges where they give you like either hardback or paperback actual printed copies of the book, but you have to pledge like up to over $50 to do that.
Do you have the Do you have the GoFundMe or Kickstarter up on screen? Can you?
I can. Yeah.
I threw the link to their drive-through RPG page.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Chat.
Thanks,
Here
Jack.
you go. Comrades, a revolutionary RPG.
That's pretty good. Commie propaganda looking art. That's actually pretty good.
Is that Popeye fisting someone? Because look at that
I guess.
forearm.
That fist looks awful too.
That's a pretty inflated sense of communist strength. I mean, do you think people that are under communism are that well fed?
Well, yeah.
No.
Well, and look at this fucking thumbnail right here, man. Your thumbnail does not go. Your thumbnail should be like right up here on the top of your thumb. You should not. Your thumb is broken if you can see your thumbnail like that. Anyway, but yeah, look at here. All right, $15 gets you the PDF. The fucking no physical copy in your hands, just a PDF. Right? You have to pledge up to $50 to get a hardcover and a soft cover. Yeah, $40 for 2 PDFs.
Even though you could buy them for $15 each.
Yes.
Gen T Maxi just asks, "Hey Jack and Polly, have you heard anything from Monkey?" Yeah, he was in chat a little bit earlier. He got that 90-day strike. I think that we're all definitely going to raise hell. When I get done with this stream, I'm going to hit him up and see what he's thinking. And I think he's going to activate his at YouTube presence to see it's like, hey, can the 90 days? That's bullshit. Like, and we'll see what we can do.
No.
I'm sorry.
He was talking to him on Twitter. They already told him no, it stands.
Fuck that. We're going to, as if we're not going to keep going at it. We'll see what we can do.
You guys want to know the player classes?
Monkey just was in chat and he said, instead of playing it, you guys should come up with your own game and call it Bolshevism.
Yeah, right.
Here are the player classes. You can play as the artist. Impulsive or creative, impulsive, and vain. The artist has powerful abilities that support her comrades with her art. The brute, proudly violent. The brute joins the revolution partly because she knows she knows it's right, and partly because it offers a wonderful opportunity to crack skulls.
I mean,
Man,
this is such bullshit. I've got a number of tabletop games that I'm trying to learn how to play that are all based in around the Revolutionary War because I really dig that period and stuff, right? None of the games are this idealized and one-sided. The British aren't like demons with horns looking to steal your rights. Like you understand what I mean? Like this
That's what you're getting out of this? No, this is Zier exclusionary.
Oh fuck. This is so bad, man. It's so LARPy and neatish, like any ET, like this is fuck this game, man. Fuck these people. This is pinko commie garbage, man. Anyway,
you could be a student, Polly, fueled by idealism. The student knows everything a book can teach and absolutely nothing about how to put it into practice. Man, if that does not describe absolutely every single fucking activist currently out in the real world right now, I don't know what does.
Do you think that's so? It went around on Monkey in the Morning yesterday. It's like I tend to call them news entertainers. Monkey says I think activist is a better name for him. I'm not in disagreement. I just think news entertainers kind of gets it, the sensationalism for clicks aspect of it a little bit better. But do you think that's why so many people, like David Hogg, for example, describe himself as wanting to be a journalist activist? Do you think that's why so many of them want to be journalists? Because that's the only way to get paid to be an activist? Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, the thing about it is with activism, especially, you're doing it on a voluntary basis, right? The whole idea behind being an activist is because you are trying to influence a change in either legislature or executive action, in terms of policy enforcement,
right,
by virtue of your voice being either in a protest or whatnot. There's you're being a lobbyist. There's many different forms that you can take to being an activist. The only way that you can get paid to be an activist is to be a journalist, who is going around with a an obvious bias, which, you know, gone are the days where we've got regular sort of journalism. Now everything has a clear and present bias. Everything.
Right.
If you don't think that there is a bias, then I've got a fucking bridge to sell you. There's the only way that you can make money and make a living while being an activist is to be a journalist. And that's the reason why we see these blogs turned, you know, journalism. You know, if Twitter is a credible source, then literally anyone can be a journalist.
I think there should only be one class in this game, and it should be the useful idiot.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, let's, as we're starting to run a little bit long, let's move on to the Shat Man. And
the Shat Man.
Can we not
call him that?
Shatner he's Shatner. Okay, he gets all the cred. Okay,
are we gonna see Brianna Wu take a shat?
Ew.
How did you know? That's a lovely picture of Brianna
Oh my
Wu.
God.
Is it like
it scares me every time too. That's just like, I know where you sleep.
It's fucking Woo Goblin. It's the Woo Goblin.
That's a great Woo Goblin, and she's got problem glasses and all. That's why it's a spectacular picture. So let's see. William Shatner has encountered a few troubles and has become trending in the past few days because he's being awesome and committing thought crimes left, right, and center. So here we go. Brianna Wu takes aim at Star Trek actor William Shatner, and he fires back because he's fucking awesome and full of fucking tiger blood. Okay. Star Trek actor William Shatner, who played Captain Kirk in Star Trek, the original series, and a whole fuck ton of films, awesomely, and influenced every other captain to follow. But I'll leave my hero worship aside for a second. Found himself in the middle of an internet argument about autism.
I think he's talking about you, Polly.
I haven't read this article before. I had no idea it was going there. Okay. And how society should accommodate those with the disorder. Congressional candidate Brianna Wu. Can we not call her that? Can we call her congressional failure? Pathetic attempt at congressional candidate Brianna Wu. Something more accurate, please.
Drop the moon nukes on Polydub right now, Brianna. Do it.
Who used the term tiger blood? Okay, Ebony. Well, thank you for being here, by the way, Ebony. But the reason why that idea of tiger blood and dragon DNA and all that shit that Charlie Sheen was spouting is on my mind because I was reading Brett Ellis's book and he was talking about how hilarious he thought Charlie Sheen's meltdown was and how hilarious Kanye West was for using these terms of dragon energy and shit. So they're on my brain. Anyway,
energy.
Yeah, those guys are nuts, man. They're on some different shit. Found himself in the middle of an argument about autism and how society should go. Congressional candidate Brianna Wu threw herself into the argument, attempting to take a shot at Shatner. The actor quickly shot her down with a firm response about her own past. Oh, this is going to be delicious.
Oh my God. I can't wait.
Like Brianna Wu involved herself in something that had nothing to do with her so she could get noticed? You don't say.
Yeah, right?
I was shocked too.
The argument came about when a number of disgruntled fans who were upset about Shatner's choice of autism, of an autism charity. Yeah, he does all kinds of fucking charities. Shatner has raised funds for Autism Speaks going back as far as 2012. Here's Shatner's tweet. You guys rock. Thanks for supporting Autism Speaks. And then a hashtag sound off for ASMBB. Okay.
Yeah. Speaks. Yeah.
Okay. In fact, the argument appears to stem from a disagreement Shatner had with the founder of Autism Self-Advocacy Network, Ari Narim, back in 2017. Shatner's tweet here reads as follows. He tweeted that I was yelling at autistic people for trying to educate me on Autism Speaks. I did block him for misrepresenting the facts. Okay. God, this is a long string of tweets.
Shatner's in like his 80s. He was probably just like, what?
Yeah, he's 89, I believe, currently. Yeah, he's fairly active and clear-minded. I will give him credit for being more clear-minded than Brianna Wu. Anyway.
He gets around better than I do.
Yeah. Shatner also tweets, Shatner would reveal that he is being attacked by autism activists because of his support for Autism Speaks. Why? Are they like a bad charity or something?
I don't know.
Okay,
No,
Shatner
Autism
tweets.
Speaks is a really big charity. I've done volunteer work for them before.
Okay.
Probably
so Shatner tweeted, they don't like the fact that I support Autism Speaks. Apparently, unless you agree with them and support our organizations they want you to, it's unacceptable. So they attack. Yeah, it sounds like Twitter. Brianna Wu would weigh in on the argument by attempting to contradict Shatner's statement that people adapt to society, not vice versa. Okay. Somebody tweeted at Shatner, William Shatner thinks it's brainwashed for autistic people to seek to create a society that accommodates their needs instead of wanting to, quote, cure autism. Shatner responded to this by saying, you adapt to society, not vice versa, and nothing can be done about that. Shrug emoji. Okay. So Brianna Wu decides to weigh in. There. Brianna Wu weighs in. List of Trek episodes where Kirk fights the exact opposite. The Enemy Within, Tomorrow's Yesterday, Mud's Women, Balance of Terror, City on the Edge of Forever, Errand to Mercy, Devil in the Dark, Savage Curtain, Way to Eden, and Requiem for Methus. You mean Methuselah, you fucking retard. You misspelled the name of the art. Anyway. Don't nerd battle me, bitch. I'll take you down. Fair,
how many people can spell Methuselah off the top of their head?
Well, if you're she's attempting to like nerd bash the guy, basically, like come down on him with titles and get the shit right, dummy. Anyway, where people, I just want to be clear on what she was trying to say, where they did the exact opposite, meaning did not adapt to society. That's such a broad claim. I'm not going to pain the audience with going through the plot of each one of those episodes. Nobody wants to hear me nerd the fuck out like that. In classic Shatner social media fashion, the actor shot back and reminded Wu of her own past conspiracy theory statements. Oh, God. Please tell me Moon Rocks comes up. Wu previously claimed that the moon, yes, quote, the moon is probably the most tactically valuable military ground for Earth. She added, rocks dropped from there have the power of hundreds of nuclear bombs. As the Washington Times points out, quote, small space rocks can indeed do nuclear weapon scale damage if hitting from Earth orbital speeds. But launching one from the moon, even setting aside issues of aiming, would still require escaping the satellite's gravitational field, a task that requires power and thrust contained in a huge rocket. Shatner made full use of the quote, calling Wu's idea sci fantasy and then stating she must be a Star Wars fan.
Well, I think the answer that we're all looking for is moon catapults.
Right.
Yeah.
That's totally enough power to overcome the moon.
Okay, not only that, think about it this way too. For a moon rock to be large enough to cause any sort of damage, it would have to be like huge, number one. Number two, the reason why is because it would burn up in the fucking atmosphere.
Oh, you and your colonialist science and your
so Shatner's actual tweet read, isn't Brianna the one who claimed the government could hurl rocks from the moon and target people to be killed here on Earth? Must be a Star Wars fan. That's definitely sci fantasy. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Okay. The so-called out of touch 89-year-old is sharp as fuck. All right. Shatner wasn't the only one to take aim at Wu. One user called her out for not providing any real world examples instead of relying on examples from fiction. Yeah. No stranger to making a fool of herself in public. The congressional candidate appeared on Bloomberg Technology and claimed the government should intervene due to negative reviews of Disney's Captain Marvel. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. That was fucking priceless. Like, you're criticizing Captain Marvel, which is important for young women. That's interfering with free speech. Therefore, the government should get involved. And it's like, what? Do you even understand the stupidity of what you just said? You're talking about interfering with free speech criticism of someone else's, like, anyway, let's not revisit that.
I like what you just said there with Brianna Wu saying that the government needs to intervene because of Captain Marvel and all of that. So like, because it's like, because it's interfering with free speech. That's the verbal equivalent of literally having a seizure. That's the verbal equivalent of a seizure.
Yeah.
It's someone falling to the ground and flopping around with foam coming out of their mouth.
All right. This is not the only thing that Shatner found himself in the middle of. This also thing, William Shatner banned from a Reddit group. But why? Everyone's talking about this. Like, he would show up there and do stuff in this subreddit, or like comment and sort of go back and forth. And he tried logging in and found himself banned from the group by a moderator. And people were like, what? Why? And so it kind of became a story. And here it is. Reddit is notorious for overzealous mods. Yes, it is. But one wonders why William Shatner could have possibly done to have gotten banned from such a large group. The internet media platform known as the front page of the internet. Wow.
No,
is
not.
home to several. What's that? Sorry.
It's the worst. It's the worst Chan board ever. Everything that's on Reddit was on 4chan at first, and it's all of 4chan's detritus. Reddit is awful, and everyone that uses Reddit is a fucking plebeian, worthless human being. Just saying.
You get extra points just for using the word detritus. Well done. And using it correctly, too. Most people don't. The social media platform known as the front page of internet detritus is home to several thousand groups in a beehive sort of fashion. One of these groups, Our Drama, has almost 100,000 members. Until last month, actor William Shatner was one of those members, boldly going where no actor had gone before. Come on, that was lame. But the actor announced on July 20th on Twitter that he had been inexplicably banned from the group. Shatner tweeted, quote, "When I logged in today, I hadn't been on Reddit for many months, if at all this year. I found that last month, Our Drama had banned me. I'm sure some self-important mod there didn't like something I had said here, so they banned me, living up to their name." Damn. Groups on Reddit are created by admins who in turn create rules for the mods to follow. It is understood that mods can typically ban whomever they wish. The actor had previously joined the gossip group in order to see what others were saying about him. In a post from 2017, Our Drama had accused Shatner of being critical of modern feminism and wanted people to make sure Shatner's vile remarks got shat on.
Oh God. That's not even funny like mine, man. Like, I was the one that kind of from the hip fired off the stream name tonight.
Yes. Shatner commented, "I'm 86 years old. I don't have time to watch 4-hour reviews of 2-hour movies."
Preach it, brother.
That's pretty good. In a follow-up tweet, Shatner decided that maybe it was better that he was banned from the group, since the tongue-in-cheek vocabulary rules included Maocide, systematic eradication of the white race through breeding with non-whites, and KYS. Which, kill yourself safe, because despite the many drunks and touchy uncle, we're all family together. What? I don't know. I must have misread that, but I don't have the energy to go back and read it over, and we're running late. Apparently, the mods of Our Drama had banned everyone from their group as an April Fool's joke, but forgot to let some people back on. Shatner was unbanned after he tweeted about it, but has no plans on going back. He tweeted again, "Fear not, it will never happen again." Highly logical. Man, this whole article is just like a swath of cringe, huh?
Yeah.
Corrine Weaver. I mean, I get what you're trying to do, but damn. Whew. All right. There it is. Brianna Wu. Oh, yeah. Here, guess what, guys? X-Men Dark Phoenix is like flopped hardcore. Yeah, it flopped so hard that it's already being pulled from theaters. It's only been there for 3 weeks, so it'll be in the cheap theaters real soon. So if you haven't seen it and you do want to go laugh, you can pay for it for cheap soon. That's all I want to say about that.
It pisses me off that an X-Men movie is so, bad.
Dude, it was way worse than I expected it to be.
Because, I mean, like, I've been thinking about this here lately. If you want to say any sort of movie is responsible for the resurgence of superhero movies, I must addendum, that are not Batman really, I think that Batman. Well, yeah, Batman is the only one really. Would have to be either X-Men or the Raimi Spider-Man. Because that was the only time, or that was the first time that a superhero movie was actually brought out that actually looked and seemed like an actual superhero movie.
No, man, Blade.
No, Blade was a vampire flick.
Yeah, I guarantee you those movies would not have been made if it hadn't been for Blade. Because it was a very successful movie, and it was a Marvel franchise that spawned 2 sequels.
Which were not as good.
No, but
Best
it was
thing about-
it still made enough money to warrant a trilogy.
The best
and
thing about
really crappy TV series.
the Blade sequels was Ryan Reynolds's "You cock juggling thunder cunt."
Yeah, and that's the best thing. That's a great comment. Straight Sith male. Excuse me. Asks, do you guys ever stream with EVS? No, and that's not because I don't want to. It's just he's a busy
we're
guy.
microscopic by way of comparison.
Yeah. It's Straight Sith male. That sounds like the kind of thing you might want to tweet at EVS, and I'd retweet it. Let me tell you. I actually did hit him up on Twitter one time, but Jesus Christ, whenever he shares his Twitter page, his message box and his notifications are like plus 99. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
he's just absolutely inundated with shit.
Yeah, and so's Yellow Flash, so's Tug, and that was one of the reasons Tug was so awesome for coming on for our 300 subscriber special, that he bothered to come on a channel. That was so cool.
Yeah.
And and Jim Healis has come on, and that's cool. And like, so yeah, I would love to stream with him. It's just getting a hold of him because the guy's busy as fuck, and everybody wants to get a hold of him. So that that's the trouble. I'd love to. I want to hit up Young Ripper 59. He's awesome. I'd love to stream with Chris from Comic Tropes. I just think he probably wouldn't want to stream with us. It's like, you guys sure do swear a lot,
Yeah.
What
One person
are you talking about?
God, what the fuck?
No, it's a great channel. He's just a lot more. I love his content. It's just a hell of a lot more family friendly than ours is.
I don't swear on my videos. I just channel.
No, you don't. Yeah, we just tend to get salty and saucy as fuck, and it's supposed to be conversational, and that's what ends up happening. I don't think No, wait a minute. Weebs and I were cussing like crazy. I was gonna say I don't think I cussed in any of my edited videos, but no, I totally do.
Oh no, well, if you don't, I sure as fuck did on our America Chavez one.
Yeah. So yeah, by all means, fuck everybody who's in chat. Tweet that EVS should check out like comic book curation. Hell yeah. Let's start a social media movement, y'all.
Yeah, right. So you know what? One person I would give pretty much anything to have on a stream and just pick their brain about, because I think it would be actually really, really interesting to have a conversation with. Comic Book Girl 19.
Oh hell yes.
Yeah,
because man, I would love talking like some off the wall, not normal questions to your boy Zach.
No, yeah.
The questions I would have for that guy, and I'd be like, so when's your next comic coming out? Like, he'd want to talk about, like, here's the state that I'm at, but I would want to ask questions not about Twitter wars and shit, more like, remember that one time he said, he's in the middle of suing, for those of you who don't know, longtime comic book writer Mark Waid for tortious interference with a contract and defamation for defaming him, calling him all of these unsavory things like a white nationalist and such. And your boy Zach Richard Meyer on one of his videos said offhandedly one time, so I woke up today and I had this weird feeling, like when something you've been doing for a long while feels like a dream, and it's like, oh yeah, I am suing the guy who wrote that annual from 1982 that I totally loved as a kid. I would love to ask him about, like, what a weird feeling that must be. And, what do you do? Just shake it off and move on. And where do you get the balls when somebody tells you, fuck you, go write your own comic? How much of your art training you might want to quiz them on that. Like, like how much of your art training has transferred over usably to the writing that you now do for your own comics? Because he went to school for that shit. Like, I'd have off the wall, not standard questions for the guy. I'd love to stream with him. Anyway.
Yeah. I'd actually like to pick his brain about his art school experiences, because like, I'm not sure if my experiences in art school are standard, but I'd rather hope that they aren't. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Hold on. And copy. And hold on, damn it. Goddamn Chrome sucks. There's Ethan Van Sciver's there's his handle up on Twitter. By all means.
Yeah.
Tweet away, ladies and gentlemen.
And James Colley, Tug is awesome. He is. He's great. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a super nice guy.
Easily one of my favorite comic book streamers. I mean, if we were doing a more laid back stream and I wasn't so like, I'll admit it, I was kind of like tripped out streaming with Tug. Like, it's like the first time I streamed with Monkey and Scribe. I had heard them talk for so long that hearing their voices through my headphones for the first time, I was like, oh, but wait a minute. Now, if I say something, they'll hear it. You know, it's a weird feeling. And Tug's so down to earth. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm a normal dude. That's what's so cool about guys like him. You know, So in any case, time for pitches. Who wants to go first? I'm ready to go first, or one of you guys can. It's up to you.
I don't care. I'll go first. You got that image I sent you?
No. So, Quiz, are you ready to go first so I can go grab that image?
Yes, absolutely.
Cool. I'll put you up and then go get Jack's stuff.
My pitch is written by Ben Acker and Ben Blacker. Artist Danlo Bayreuth. It's a diamond in the rough, in my opinion. It's a modern Marvel comic, Deadpool v Gambit.
Nice.
It's essentially the story of Gambit and Deadpool being conned into performing this heist by a supervillain that they don't know is a supervillain. But it's this like sort of romp through all of the Marvel universe. It's really kind of interesting because it starts off with Spider-Man chasing Deadpool, or Daredevil through all of New York and like getting in a fight and like beating each other up and shit, only to find out that it's Gambit and Deadpool. And when the real Spider-Man and Daredevil arrive, everyone's blaming them for wrecking their shit. But it's after the diamond heist that Gambit stole all these diamonds from. And it's this awesome story of like double crossing and like, you know, you got Gambit and Deadpool fighting each other while also working together. And it's like I said, it's a kind of a delightful romp through the Marvel universe. And it's two of my favorite X characters and a little bit of nods to the wider Marvel universe. And I thought it was a kind of a fun book, which is odd for me to say, especially about modern Marvel.
That cover's terrible.
Okay, keep talking. I'm doing something.
I don't know, like there's a bit later on where Deadpool and Gambit get Luke Cage and the Iron Fist's superpowers. So like running around with all kinds of crazy shit. And eventually it goes to New Orleans. Like there's this one bit in it where it goes like super dramatic with Gambit and then it just like completely is unresolved. I don't know, it's really fucking weird. Like the tone of it is all over the place, but you know, it's a, you know, it's got Deadpool in it, so it's you know, kind of to be expected, but at the same time, you know, it's weird because it's the first time you've ever seen those two characters together.
Right.
And in my opinion, they pulled it off fairly good. Like I said, it's pretty high praise for me to pitch a modern Marvel book.
Yeah, I felt the same way pitching Symbiote Spider-Man, doing a video on it. That's why I did. It's like, it's a novelty.
Yeah, right?
How sad is that?
Hey, you guys want to see something real weird?
Is this porn?
Better not
Yeah, I know, that's probably not the best way to introduce something, right?
Oh, that's the absolute best way. People be like, porn? What? I'm listening.
Unfortunately, well, I'll just leave that alone. Here, look at this.
Yeah.
No,
Why?
it's a very crotchy shot.
And like
why do we need to see Dick's dick and taint?
it's also autographed. It's like I'm not making any comments. You tell me. What do you think?
I think that's on par with the Silver Surfer crotch shot we saw last week.
Yeah.
It's sort of an odd artistic choice by Frank quietly, isn't it?
I don't like Batman's weird smile.
That also came up to other people. They're like, "What's with the derpy, creepy Batman in the background?"
What's he got semi going back there? Because there's a young androgynous person in front of him with legs spread. There's a lot of problems I have with this image.
It's weird, and it is a prestige edition hardcover. Example of this guy's art. It's a collection of his art. And so you put something very iconic or emblematic of the artist's style on the cover generally, and that was your choice? Kind of weird.
Yeah, Monkey makes a good point in chat. Where is the bulge in Dick's shorts? Because there isn't one.
We will not be talking about taint bulge of underage boys. Okay.
We will not be talking about Dick's dick, all right? I'd rather talk about his ass. Like this page or this panel from Grayson number 6. Your nifty hypnose tech trick may make it so that I can't see spiral agents' faces, but I'd know that ass anywhere.
Gross.
Quoth Batman about Dick Grayson.
Wow.
Trusted referred to it as Night Wang.
Well, that was Bruce Wang's Wang.
No, that was with a K. This is with a Night Wing instead of Night Wang.
I getcha. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that big of a problem with the bat penis. I didn't really care. I was like, anyway.
It was the fact that everyone was losing their shit about the bat dick.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I thought it was funny.
It was funny, but it's like the whole, I don't know. I just didn't see it as being like as big of a deal. It's like classic clickbait shit to talk about, you know?
If it was gratuitous, like he was bending over and giving you a fruit bowl, then, that would be
right.
That would be different.
That's exactly it. He's simply walking towards the back computer to do a scan, and why is he even naked? Because it's a question of like, he thinks he's ill and dying and he thinks there's something wrong with him. So he's stripping down for a body scan that the back computer is going to do of him. And he needs to be stripped for it to happen.
And nudity portrays vulnerability.
Exactly. That's the whole point, because it's supposed to be you nailed it. It's supposed to be super tough Bruce Wayne, but this has left him extremely vulnerable. And now he's scared. And one of the ways of showing that artistically is through nudity, and it's not gratuitous. I really didn't see the big fucking problem.
No, it's just people making nonsense articles about it. Did you see England teen I Love Comics? He did a video on how his video got demonetized because he used the phrase Batman damned, and the word damned is apparently a hot button word you're not allowed to use.
Satanic panic.
Is that the actual reason why, or his claimed reason why?
The reason he said he got demonetized was...
Well, that's the reason he said, but I find that hard to believe.
I don't.
Really?
No, have you seen what people are saying? What words will get you demonetized now? If you use the word beat, you'll get demonetized.
Hold on, which word? Beat?
Beat, as in I beat him up. That sort of thing.
What happens if you like
down?
That beat is at 120 BPM.
Well, it's the algorithm.
Polly's dropping some fat beats and he's mixtape.
Or ranting monkey is somehow a racist term. Like, this is weird. I guess I shouldn't be so surprised that maybe damned is on that list. Anyway, I don't.
Yeah, they have a list they don't want to share because it would ruin the cat and mouse fun of it.
Yeah. All right. Well, this, I hope, is what Jack is pitching.
Carson of Venus, Warlord of Mars. This is a one-shot from American mythology. Unfortunately, I can't screen share because Chrome.
Because Chrome sucks. Just say it. I agree with you. Because Chrome sucks. Yeah.
Chrome is awful.
So an alien opens the doorway to various worlds to try and recruit heroes, and he gets John Carter and Carson of Venus, Carson Napier, and he's like this insect thrycreen looking guy, and he wants them to go save the princess of their world, and does an emotional plea, and they have to go rescue her out of a tower. It's a great little one-shot team up. The characters are fun. And you know what? I read this and I was like, I'm probably going to hate this. The art is a little subpar from what you'd expect, but it's a fourth-tier company, and it's still about Marvel quality these days.
Yeah, well, no, if the cover is indicative of what the inside is like, yeah, it's not the greatest art I've ever seen, but it's above a lot of Marvel art.
Yeah,
actually, the interior art is slightly better than the cover.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because the cover proportions are a little weird. But
you know, Edgar Rice Burroughs, man, you know.
It's a good Burroughs adventure story. It's just a one shot. I thought it was a mini series, but it's not. It's just a one-off adventure, and I feel like I got my $4 worth out of it. Because unlike when I read a Marvel book and I slam it down in disgust that I spent money on it, I didn't have that problem with this. The paper quality is way better than a Marvel book too.
Jesus.
But I really like American Mythology because they have all the Edgar Rice Burroughs stuff licensed.
Right.
It's all officially licensed to them. So
that's pretty cool that they scored that license, actually. That's
it's surprising too, because like Warlord of Mars is public domain. So they didn't have to, as long as they call it Warlord of Mars and not John Carter, because John Carter's under a different trademark.
Right.
Yeah, as I say, isn't that owned by Disney or something?
No, it's owned by the Edgar Rice Burroughs family.
Oh, okay.
Disney had to license it from them too. But Carson of Venus, Pellucidar, and Moon Maid and something else are all licensed under this package deal to American Mythology, and they're doing miniseries of them. They're doing some Zorro stuff too. I highly recommend checking out that company if you're looking for some actual superhero action, because they really did a good job with it. It was a fun thing. I don't know what else to say about it without ruining it. It was just a fun little adventure story and a self-contained issue. And how often do you get fun books anymore?
Right.
Didn't you pitch something from American Mythology, a Zorro book?
Yeah, probably.
Like Zorro versus Zombies or something like that?
Yeah, I really like American Mythology. I'm really digging their work. They've got, because they got Zorro is why I picked up some of their books. But they also did like this 1 and 2 shot books like Eternal Thirst of Dracula, which was just a 2-issue thing, and they're doing a sequel to it here in a few months. They also did Volcanosaurus, which, if that's not made into a sci-fi movie, I don't know what they're thinking, because it was about dinosaurs with volcano powers.
Mm-hmm.
But they've got some really fun books, and they've got a kids line too. They got a bunch of like Three Stooges stuff, Casper, things like that. Just old Dell type or Harvey type books that are really good. So I highly recommend checking out the company at least. And if you can't find this one shot, see if you can find something else they did. They've got some really good stuff. The Zorro miniseries they're running now is called Sacrilege, and he's fighting like these elder god Cthulhu types. So yeah, but Carson of Venus, Warlord of Mars was a fun book. So I wanted to share with everyone and try and encourage people to read it.
I'll say, I also want to give some praise here. Thrycreen, really? That's some deep cuts D&D lore there, Jack.
Hey man, I'm 2nd edition all the way.
Who knows like Dark Sun anymore? Come on, man.
Ramen Noodle 78 said when we were talking about the Frank Quietly graphic art book, is that actually the female Robin, the one nearly beaten to death? Now, Jason Todd was nearly beaten to death, but then the building exploded.
Yeah, well, no,
by the Joker.
He was beaten to an inch of his life and then exploded. So.
Yeah. So, but that wasn't the female Robin, but there was a female Robin for a hot minute prior to Carrie Kelly.
Spoiler.
Who was that?
The spoiler.
Was she beaten? And was she beaten to death?
No.
Spoiler is Cassandra Cain's Batgirl.
No, Cassandra Cain was orphan.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Stephanie Brown was spoilered. She was dating Robin, and then she became Batgirl before New 52.
So the only Batgirl, or excuse me, Robin, female, that was nearly beaten to death was Carrie Kelly in Dark Knight 3: The Master Race, because she was nearly beaten to death. Okay, I was just seeing if it had happened before. I was just having a little nerdy fun there. By the way, Dark Knight 3: The Master Race. Read it. It's fucking awesome. Frank Miller rocks. It's after he stopped drinking, so it makes sense. It's fairly recent, available as a collected edition. The art's awesome. The story's fucking fantastic. And it has the best Robin of all time, Carrie Kelly.
I love how you have to keep quantifying it.
It's after he quit drinking.
Well, there's distinct, like there's Frank Miller when he first started in the industry, his early Daredevil stuff, and then there's his kind of like drinking period where shit got a little weird, and then there's the post Frank Miller drinking period, like Dark Knight 3: The Master Race. Fuck, that comic's awesome, and it ends on such a fantastic note. And people are always complaining that Miller doesn't take his characters through an arc. Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, and Carrie Kelly all go through fantastic arcs, and holy shit, I was so satisfied with where it ended. It was just fucking fantastic. So highly recommend it. But I'm not pitching that this week. What I'm pitching is
Dark Knight 2.
No, I'm pitching The Question from DC.
Oh, wow, old school.
Oh, O'Neill.
Yeah, man. So I thought I'd go a little bit back. I've been reading The Question for fun, and this is definitely old school. This series ran from 87 to 90. I'm gonna guess. Started in 87 though. This is a Steve Ditko character, The Question. Steve Ditko, co-creator of Spider-Man, amongst several other characters. But Ditko is a bit of a recluse, a bit of a philosophical weirdo in terms of objectivism. And the Question is meant to be sort of the presentation of his beliefs on objectivism. Vic Sage is the guy who is The Question. He puts on this mask, and he was briefly in the Batman animated series for a hot second. He's a guy who is a intrepid investigative reporter, and in the course of his investigations into a mob that's corrupting the mayor, and the mayor's corrupt, gets his ass savagely beaten to death, and he decides to basically become a superhero by adopting the Question persona. It's just good early 80s comic book awesome. Like, just look at the panel size alone, you know? It and this is obviously the recolored remastered edition with modern digital coloring, but still very, very awesome.
I've never read a book written or read a comic written by Dennis O'Neill that I
really
not liked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought it was like, really never won. He always leaves his calling card, The Question. And it's, there he is, like peeling off his mask that, just meant to make it look like he doesn't have a face. And that's the idea that Vic Sage wants to present as The Question. Like, who is this guy? But he's also this force of objectivism in the sense of absolute clear right and wrong. That's what Ayn Rand's objectivism philosophy is all about. For those of you who were unfortunate enough to have read Atlas Shrugs, or The Fountainhead, know all about her and her objectivist philosophy. Steve Ditko was a huge devotee of it and decided to write this character. What it comes down to for a comic book character is he absolutely clearly knows the difference between right and wrong, and has in his mind, foolproof method for determining that. He's absolutely in the right because he's doing A, B, and C. These people are absolutely in the wrong because they're doing these things. So he knows who can be sacrificed and who can't. And it's a great comic, just really great early cops and robbers with a hardcore moral foundation to it. Fun. Highly recommend the series. This is just, of course, issue number 1. I'm showing you here. I mean, look at that awesome cover. Fuck yeah. It's available in a number of collected editions. The series actually only ran 1 to issue 36. And it's available in a number of collected issues, like 1 to 10, or the whole series is a big thing. I checked on Amazon. It was relaunched into something that's demonstrably different from the early stuff. But yeah, you can't go wrong with The Question. Just great comic booky fun.
Oh, yeah.
Not
The Question is one of my favorites.
Dick Tracy's The Blank.
So hold on, let me there we go. All right.
There's actually a really good annual where The Question and Green Arrow team up.
Yeah, that was a good annual.
Shady Grin says, where, pray tell, can I obtain a treasure? You know what? I didn't think to check to see if it's available on Comixology. I don't know why. It was a huge DC classic run, all of the rights going to DC. I don't understand why they wouldn't have it up, especially because it's available in digital format. So yeah, it should probably be up on Comixology, but I know it's up on Amazon available. So.
Faithless, that was not Undoomed.
But now we know where Undoomed is, well, he doesn't have a fedora, so it's totally not a copyright infringement.
Yeah. Well, Undoomed isn't also wearing a detective's trench coat either.
Yeah, there you go. Completely different.
But if Dick Tracy shows up, remind him that's not the blank.
Yes. So in any case, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode in the can. So thank you for joining us. And we are thinking, if I'm not mistaken, of running a one-off stream this Friday evening to test our OBS prowess to see if we can actually pull it off. We're going to see.
And see if we can get Jack on a certain media format that he absolutely refuses to get onto.
Yes.
I think you already have the answer to that one.
Yeah. Well, we'll be running it as a Hangouts OBS this weekend, or well, rather this Friday evening. But yeah, we're going to have to move off of Hangouts. There really isn't a choice about that because it's coming to an end later this year, as I'm sure a lot of you have already heard through YouTube. They're ending Hangout streams, so which is what we're currently using. In any case, thank you for being here. By all means, check out the 2 recent videos that I posted on Hottest Girls in the MCU, co-hosted, and it was a lot of fun with Widow Jones, although she didn't retweet it out because Weebs isn't into self-promotion like that. She's just cool with her thousands and thousands of followers and all of her popularity. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Must be nice, huh? Anyway. And remember to hit up Ethan Van Skyver at Ethan Van Skyver. I want to start a social media thing where people are like, I'm going to go find out what the hell this is so people will just leave me the fuck alone already.
Yeah, right. Just God, comic book curation. They don't talk about my book. Come on.
Actually, we've talked about Cyberfrog a whole bunch of times. I know. I am waiting for my copy of Cyberfrog. You guys also bought it, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, it's only 6 or 7 months late.
Yeah.
I'm not so much worried about the lateness. I've seen the pages and they look fantastic. I'm just really looking forward to getting it,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, we already are longtime supporters of EVS. We bought into Cyberfrog already. So in any case, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for the donations.